All right, from football to basketball, which is one of the world's favorite sports, no matter where they live, for the most fans focus on the NBA. However, in recent years, there has been a trend for European stars to make a big impact across the Atlantic. Now, basketball is expanding its reach even further, including here in Dubai. Let's take a look.
The most competitive league in the world, back with a bang.
Oh, what a audience! A buzzer beater!
Every game matters.
Absolutely sensational!
Oh, this is unreal.
Oh, my word!
Oh, what a move, what a finish! Dubai Basketball making a dream Euroleague debut. Basketball is beautiful, baby!
Please welcome to the stage four basketball leaders deeply involved with both its massive growth and its potential to unite. Dubai Basketball Chairman Abdullah Nabuda, NBA legend Tony Parker, Euroleague CEO Paulius Motijunas, and the President of FIBA Europe, Jorge Garbajosa. And who better to moderate this panel than two-time WNBA All-Star and ESPN co-host Chiney Ogwumike.
Welcome. Have a wonderful session.
Oh,
Thank you.
stage is yours.
Good afternoon. It's time for some basketball. I'm so thrilled to be here. My name is Chiney Ogwumike. I'm a two-time WNBA All-Star. I also work on ESPN, primarily debating the likes of Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, Richard Jefferson, and it is my absolute pleasure to lead this conversation about how basketball is truly breaking down borders and barriers in Europe and beyond. And these right here are the finest minds in the building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We make a pretty good starting 5. And I love this conversation because it centers around how Dubai has entered the chat, as young people say. Now, as someone who has played professionally alongside many of you, this is my first time in Dubai. I played in Italy, I obviously played in the WNBA, I played in China, and I'm not gonna lie, I wish I had an opportunity to play here. I would like to first start with the concept and the notion that every dream turned to reality starts with a vision. Abdullah, in a region or a world that truly loves football, or as Americans say, soccer, how did Dubai basketball emerge and become a player?
Yeah, thank you. It wasn't easy. It took a few years. But at the end, I think the most important thing for us was breaking that borders. For a team in the Gulf, we're still part of Asia, and creating this team to play in Europe was one of the, I think, the biggest challenges for us. But thanks to many people, and Paulius, of course, and all the shareholders at Euroleague that made it happen.
And it's been a beautiful sight to behold as first of all, I mentioned this being the starting 5, but I would love to actually formally introduce them. Abdullah, the mind, the architect behind Dubai basketball, I'll save you for last. Paulius, really leading Euroleague into the next direction. And Jorge, thank you so much for joining us as well, the head of the regional governing body. I'm sorry that the microphone is having fun with us too, but best for last, respectfully, we have a 4-time NBA champion, a finals MVP, a 6-time All-Star, a Eurobasket MVP. Can we make some noise, please, for Mr. Tony Parker? Now, Paulius, for years, I'm not sure if my microphone is really working with me, but it's okay. For years, there were rumors, but now it's happening. Why the Middle East and why now?
This, the most important part, we were supposed to be matured as a league, which I think we are now, because the stakeholders, Tony being one of them, had to approve of the idea. And the key and the cornerstone was obviously the people in Dubai. And when Abdullah knocked on the door, and when we started talking, and then we brought all the shareholders into Dubai for the first time, it was an eye-opener. And then the dream started to become the reality, because when you think about it now, it seems like it's a no-brainer. But back then you have to go through many, things that are blocking you of Euroleague. Is it European League? It's not Europe, all that kind of stuff. But when we looked at the stats, since 2022, I think the people attending or doing basketball increased by 60%. In some research, it says it's even 400%. So for us to have a team here with many expats living, many European people coming to see the team play now is a no-brainer. And of course, the key cornerstone is the youth and young generation coming to watch the games and trying to be like Tony, trying to be like anybody who's on current Dubai team, which this is something that we could not pass. So like I said, now it seems like a no-brainer, but back then it had, this idea seemed, like when Abdullah says it took some time, 2 years, we did it in 2 years. That's amazing.
It was the microwave process, but now you see what's cooking, which is truly important. And I love that you bring up the idea of youth, because I do believe that legacy matters in all that we do. And Jorge, leading the governing body, a lot of times the accolades go to the top teams, but it truly takes grassroots involvement and investment. Can you describe what FIBA is doing to help supplement this?
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me here. It's a true honor representing FIBA in such a huge and important event as this summit is. And as FIBA, of course, we take care of the youth, of course, we take care of the national teams, but not only. Mr. Infantino yesterday, in one of the opening speeches, he said very correctly that as an international federation, we have to take care to create, first of all, the scenarios for the clubs and the national teams to be developed through the national leagues and the international competitions, and also to create these revenues to keep feeding the wheel so we can invest this money through the federations and the clubs in the youth development. If there's no youth, there's no basketball anymore in the future. So, and then about, traditionally FIBA used to take care about national teams competition and youth competition, but not only. Since some years ago, and that's honestly, I can say it openly, why I'm part of this project, proudly part of this project, is because we also take care about the club competitions all over the world. And here we are in Dubai, where the teams for this region play in the WASL, in the West Asian Super League, that the winners go to the BCL Asia, and the winner potentially will go to the Intercontinental Cup. So we truly, through the federations and through the leagues, we take care of the pyramid of the competitions, and important to be solidarity principle in the base, and also meritocracy in the sense that the one who wins, the one who deserves it, go to the next step.
And it's cool when you have people that are true testaments to that development process, like Tony Parker. Tony, you played both in the NBA and Euroleague. Can you please describe the difference?
I think the biggest difference is the speed of the game. Obviously, the Americans, the NBA, they were the best for a long time, and the biggest difference is they were just going faster and jumping higher. And slowly but surely, we're closing the gap, with European basketball. And the EuroLeague is a little bit slower, but it's adapting, to the NBA game. As you know, the NBA game is a lot of threes now, and it goes up and down. And in EuroLeague, you see a lot of teams trying to play the same way now. Like last year, Paris was trying to play like that. And so it's interesting to see the evolution, of basketball around the world. And I'm happy that Dubai is coming in, and hopefully we can keep it going like this. It was the vision of David Stern back then. He wanted to make basketball worldwide. And I'm one of those kids, watched the Dream Team in 1992. I was 10 years old watching MJ and Magic, and then me, Pau, Dirk, we all came in the league, and we try to be pioneers, for our countries.
First of all, that was a very sophisticated answer, because If you play in Euroleague and the NBA, or for me, WNBA, I would say Euroleague is physical. It brings out the best in you. It allows you to compete at the highest levels because you go through some things.
That's for sure. It's very physical. I'll give you that. That's for sure. But I'll leave it like that. It's physical, it's for sure.
I love it. But the game has changed, as you mentioned, the speed, the tempo. And the cool thing is young kids can go to YouTube and just watch their favorite players. There's so much more accessibility. And I want to follow this up with the side you being an owner. What is the difference that you have seen, being a part of one of the most storied franchises, the San Antonio Spurs, but then also choosing ownership so that you can build yourself?
It's funny that you asked that question because I always wanted to be an owner. I don't know why. Since I was a little kid, obviously I was dreaming about the NBA. I wanted to be a player. But during my career, I was thinking about that already. I started to invest in Asvel, so the Lyon team in the Euroleague, when I was 27 years old, so I was still active. And I decided to invest because it was a way for me to give back to my country, inspire the new generation, and share my experience. And so when I retired, it was an easy transition. And I've been very blessed to play for a very, very good franchise for a long time. So I learned from the best with R.C. Buford and Coach Pop. And my last year in the NBA, I wanted to play in Charlotte for Michael Jordan because I wanted to learn from him too, because he's been very, very successful in business. And so for me, it was just thinking about what can I do for my country, inspire my country, and try to grow basketball over there. And so when I see, the Olympics final, in 2024 against the U.S., I was very proud, because I can see the evolution in French basketball. And then as an owner, hopefully we can keep it growing, and it's looking pretty good. The future is looking bright, so I'm excited.
The excitement comes in many forms. Abdullah, I assume you share that mission.
Absolutely.
And when you think about building from the ground up and quickly reaching success with Dubai basketball, what would you say has been the greatest challenge in this time?
Well, we didn't know where we're going. We thought, but every strength was there. We had 177 academies in Dubai, and there's tens of thousands of kids playing basketball. We knew these kids want to watch, real basketball. So that was an easy marker for us. Where we're heading, I think the most important question is we have to run a sustainable franchise. We're not here. We're trying to throw money at it and make it work. But it is a commercial asset. We're trying to make it sustainable, and it goes for decades.
And when you speak of sustainable commercial assets, there's no better example than Euroleague. Could you describe the future vision for basketball in the region?
The future is bright. It's a first step. So our first step was the Final Four in Abu Dhabi last year, which was a huge success in many ways. First, all the fans came in; they had a great time, and the support from the locals was unbelievable. Then the next step was Dubai playing, and so far, I know it's only December, but they are playing better than anybody expected. I'm pretty sure they're 9-9 in the middle of the table. After 2 years, it's unbelievable, because in Europe it takes time to grow, and Tony knows it. We have good examples that worked. We can probably mention the same Paris team. We have examples that failed, like London Lions, where, like Abdullah says, you want it to be sustainable and you need to invest, and it takes time, and you have to have patience. So I really believe that Dubai is the first step, or the second step after the Final Four. We can have more teams, we can have more tournaments, we can have more competition, we have even more academies, maybe under the same umbrella. So I really believe that this region, this city, with the help of now Dubai Sports Council with His Excellency Khalfan helping us, and we're just exploring. And the way the business is growing here, I think basketball and sports in general will just catch up, and we need to make sure that we don't miss out, following the grassroots, like you said, and making it a sustainable business.
And Paulus, if you'll indulge me for a moment, behind the scenes, you said we could have a little fun. I love you sitting next to Jorge because everyone knows Euroleague and FIBA can sometimes butt heads when it comes to scheduling.
That's not true at all.
Oh, okay. It's not true. Fake news. Fake news. But here on these platforms, again, we speak of shared mission. Jorge, how do you see the level of cooperation to really push forward into the future alongside great organizations like Euroleague?
Well, we have to say that historically the relationship has not been the best one. The good news are, personally we are good, we talk a lot. Actually we agreed to wear the tie or not last night. But honestly, talking seriously, in the mindset, in the concept of what we want for the future, there are some differences. You know, Euroleague, they take care of 13 shareholders plus some clubs, and us as international federation, we cannot be agree with that. We have to take care of the basketball globally. We talk about the youth, but we have to talk about every national league. For us is important. Of course, our national federation, which are our partners in each country. There is only one thing that FIBA is better than FIFA, probably, which we have 212 national member federations, and FIFA has 211. It is a joke, of course. We have to take care of basketball globally, not only about 13 clubs that deserve all our due respect, the shareholders of the Euroleague, as Real Madrid, as Panathinaikos, or Fenerbahce, or others, including, of course, Dubai, deserve all our respect, but we cannot focus only on these 13. We have to take care about the global basketball all over the world.
And it's interesting as well, when I entered the WNBA in 2014, over a decade ago, I can't believe it, I feel seasoned, I feel old, the one thing that we heard that was really pushing forward was the idea that it's truly a global game. Now, Abdullah, you set a trend with Dubai basketball. We broke down borders entering Euroleague, but I believe that there are more people that are also interested in this. I, again, am a WNBA player, work very closely alongside the NBA. I want to take a listen to what Commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, had to say.
I understand there's some news this morning about the NBA possibly expanding into Europe. What can you tell us about that?
Well, so it's something we've been discussing for a while, and that is having a separate league in Europe. Basketball is the #2 sport in Europe after soccer. There's probably 300 million fans. Many of our top players are European. Roughly 15% of the league is European players. So the quality of basketball is amazingly, high level there. But there hasn't been commercial success really ever for a league there. Each country has its own leagues. There's something that's pan-European. So we think there's an opportunity to come in, do something pan-European, have franchises in great European capitals like Paris, London, Berlin, Madrid, etc. So the opportunity is there. It's something we're looking very closely at with our owners right now. We've been out in the marketplace talking to some of the well-known soccer clubs who also field basketball teams, some of the biggest sports brands in the world. So there's tremendous interest. So it's something sort of in the next few months we're going to sort out. But I think there's a very good chance we're going to move forward with something there.
Okay, we will stand by for news on that.
So, as a daughter of the diaspora, I'm proudly Nigerian American. I am an ambassador of the Basketball Africa League. Anytime the NBA, the WNBA, the footprint expands, I get so excited. But if this is a safe space, I would say that as someone who has played in Euroleague in Italy, I believe that that is some of the most pure, and as Victor Wembanyama would say, ethical basketball that I have ever experienced. So Paulus, I want to come back to you. How do you see the NBA sort of expanding the footprint and pushing the boundaries even further?
I always like the competition. Competition keeps us moving forward. And to what Jorge said, we are competing and trying not to step on each other's toes. I truly believe that the way forward is only together. If we form another league, whether it's with FIBA, without FIBA, it doesn't help anyone. So I keep repeating the same thing. I think we should protect basketball first. Like you say, with your experience, with Tony's experience. In my job, basketball comes first, and then we can put business from the side and worry about what Abdullah says. And we have 1/3 of the clubs who are sustainable. We can get the number higher, but this is something that we cannot lose focus. If we look at the business side and then try to bring basketball, I think it doesn't, it hurts the grassroots, it hurts the whole passion, and it hurts the product of basketball. So if we put the fan and the game first, and we sit down and we see how we can make it better, that's the best path forward. And that's how we should compete, not behind the scenes, not trying to show who's stronger and so on and so forth. And I think my experience with Dubai and Abu Dhabi in general is that they share the passion of putting these bridges, and we open. Us bringing Middle East to Europe it's the best move of the century, I would say.
And as you're building a club like Dubai Basketball, how do you build an identity here that you can be proud of, knowing that maybe the standard is the large, maybe franchise footprints that you've seen, like the Boston Celtics, the Los Angeles Lakers? How have you found a way to succeed in that so quickly?
I think without the passion of the fans to the game itself, basketball, because we had two challenges basically we looked at. Part of it was the technical abilities of the team on the court and showing a high-level basketball. The other one was, and we tore a page from the NBA, which is the entertainment part. And that was what we produced to the fans. It's the NBA experience, and I think combining these two added more ticket sales. And then we took it a step further, that we took it to the schools in Dubai, and building those grassroots, not only to play basketball but to fall in love with basketball, and we always targeted the 8 to 15 years old kids, because that 8 to 15-year-old kid, if he starts coming to the game, he is a fan for life, and that is what we targeted.
And that is absolutely the goal, to create pathways that you can win at home and then succeed at the highest level right here. And Jorge, I love how you mentioned the environment and the NBA experience, because what's ironically interesting is that it typically is Euroleague or FIBA competitions that go viral because of the passion of fans. We have the flares, the cheers, I think honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm based in Los Angeles, and the Los Angeles Clippers created the wall. I'm like, they've been having walls in Europe forever of fans. How would you describe FIBA and how they maintain the sanctity of the experience with basketball?
Well, the best example, probably of one of the best examples, would be the last Eurobasket that was played the final phase in Riga, also in Cyprus, Poland, and Finland, where players as Antetokounmpo or Jokic or Luka Doncic or Markkanen played that tournament, and they describe the experience like one of the best experiences, if not the best, in their lives, because you represent your country, you play for the fans of the whole of your country, not just for your club fans, which is Tony, myself, we have the experience. I know Tony was also as committed as me with your national team, and the level of basketball is getting better, and the passion of the fans in Europe is growing and growing. And related with Mr. Silver said, once we talk about business, when we talk about show, when we talk about basketball, you don't have to choose. You can bring all three into a basketball court, into a basketball arena, into a basketball experience. And of course, I think we all would be agreed that NBA is one of the best, if not the best, organization on the commercialization of the assets of a competition all over the world. So as FIBA, what we'd like, and we show it with 2 meetings that we have in our headquarters, trying to put everybody in the same table, if it's possible. But if not, the good thing of the basketball in Europe, I would say, that the NBA is coming to Europe, respecting the principles of the basketball in Europe and the FIBA principles. This is so important. When we talk about principles, we talk about to respect the national team calendar, to respect the value of the national leagues, to respect the homegrown players or the naturalized players or the national players to have time to play in their own national league. So we are very excited about the future, and as FIBA, we will not quit to try to gather people, to gather organization if it's a possibility.
And you speak to something that is so powerful, because as someone who works on ESPN television every day, we tell the stories every day. And I know right now a lot of people are wondering, Giannis Antetokounmpo, where is he going? What is the future like for him? But what I remember was over the past summer, the emotion he had representing his country.
That was amazing.
And when you say that you should respect the principles, you should respect the game, the players do it in the highest fashion. And to see him have that moment in the US, NBA, he's very serious, but this was a different level of pride that he had.
When you see one guy who won the title 2 times, I think, Giannis, and he was crying because he got a bronze medal in the Eurobasket with his country. That makes you, first of all, to feel proud about the organization of the tournament, and then to have good memories of your time as a player that you will never forget.
And I'm sorry for my language, I'm so sorry, but like I'm a sucker for that because I've played with my sisters, and basketball is truly about family, and you grow up with people that see you succeed, and that's why I believe FIBA, Euroleague, everything that's being built is all about that core principle that we know. Tony, I want to come back to you because...
I just wanted to add on that.
Sure.
Because I won 4 NBA championships. I never cried. When I won the gold medal, I cried when I won with France, just to tell you the difference.
He cried.
Because I was so happy, finally we beat Spain. Too.
He cried also, yes.
After beating me every year.
We're both crying.
Rightfully so. I would be crying too. I would be crying as well. Tony, as someone who has had the best of both worlds, competing at the highest level in Europe and also the US, but also beyond, as an NBA champion and Hall of Famer, what advice would you give maybe to the NBA in entering the space? And then also vice versa, am I good? Yeah, there we go. And vice versa, what advice would you give to Europe as it expands at the highest level of competition?
But first of all, I want to say I'm super excited that the NBA is coming to Europe. I think my advice to the NBA, and I already talked to Adam and Mark, is to keep the DNA of European basketball. And I did the same thing when I bought my French team, Yes, it's some stuff you want to bring from the NBA because they're the best in entertainment and marketing and stuff like that. But it's some stuff in Europe we're great too. So I think it's good to find a happy middle and make sure you keep the DNA. You don't do exactly the same like the NBA, because our fan, they're super passionate. Like they're a little bit crazy. They're super passionate in Europe, and you have to keep that. That'd be my advice to the NBA, and they already know. But at the end of the day, I'm super excited they're coming, and I really hope we can find an agreement, with the Euroleague and Dubai and everybody, and then we can make a very, very strong league, because I really believe that all the talent that is coming in Europe can only be helpful, for the NBA. If you look at the last MVPs, the last 3-4 years, all of them, the top 5, they're non-American. No disrespect, they're non-American, and so we have to keep building on that, and it will push even the Americans. It will push everybody to keep having basketball at the highest level.
I agree. A rising tide lifts all boats. Abdullah, as our gracious host here, celebrating sport, but also basketball, what would be the final message you have investing in the sport basketball? Because I know a lot of people are very excited about football, the World Cup coming up, but why is this a good investment, and why is it so rewarding for you?
I think the most important thing was, I'll take it a little bit more locally. Football in the UAE did not attract many residents, non-UAE. Basketball did. So that's my message.
Short and sweet. We love effective. And lastly, for all the panelists here, where do you see the future of basketball with your respective positions or organizations?
I can tell about my dream, or a FIBA dream, would be a basketball where we only talk about basketball, united, where the national teams are the peak of the pyramid of the national leagues and the international club competitions, and we can all work together for a better basketball.
You cannot say it better than Jorge.
He said everything.
Yeah,
he said everything. It was great.
Once you put the cards on the table, how do we don't lose the focus? So to what Tony said, keep the passion. To what Jorge said, find the middle ground with the calendar and everything. And then the business will come.
I will just add creating a league where, like you say, not too many games. Make sure we have our best players on the court, because that's when everybody is happy, playing meaningful games with the best players.
Final message?
Yeah, absolutely. To all the attendants here, if you didn't experience Dubai basketball, please come.
In closing, if you build it, they will come, and they have arrived. Thank you very much.
Thank you.